What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. You saw the thumbnail, so you know exactly why you're here. I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. You guys, I have a good one for you today. We're going to talk about Keke, her father, and then what happened after they went live. So be sure to stay tuned. Like I said, I bring a unique commentary, okay? Hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell. Follow me on IG at DYANAROZAY. Follow me on Facebook at DYANAROZAY Real Talk. What else? You guys already know I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me, okay? So let's get started. So like I said, you guys, Keke and her dad went live on Prosperity Thick Girls page, okay? I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. And then Wanda went live to basically discredit or rebuttal what was said with Keke and her father. Before I even get started in that, this is what I want to say to you guys. There's people that we know, perhaps you are the people, okay, who don't understand the journey it takes to heal and to grow past a big thing that has happened in your life, whether it is death or divorce or dependency issues, whatever that happens to be. They don't get it, okay? People can be on their journey and they will do whatever they can to stop them or make fun of them or call out names. Oh, you're being bougie. Oh, you're, what, are you reading books now? What's going on? You're different. Yes, if you are doing life right, you should be growing past whatever those things you were stuck in, or you should be getting better at whatever things you're great at. Either way, you should be different, period. But not everybody understands that, okay? And they will make fun of people who are doing better, who are progressing past, who are trying to move past those hard spaces in their life. Yesterday, I touched on that just a little bit in my live, but I wanted to talk about it in a little bit, a little bit more, elaborate a little bit more because of what I saw last night on Wanda's live. Yet again, I was shocked the day before when Wanda said that her niece was dead to her. I was pretty shocked by that comment. I was even more shocked with what I heard last night. But at the end of the day, these people are stuck. They're stuck wherever that is. There is a growth process for them that is stalled out. And the reason why people talk about them saying, okay, this is where they are, is because we can see it. We know what the hell it is. We know what it looks like. And you're not listening to the people who are saying you have to grow past that or you have to do more to grow your life, grow your mind, grow your spirituality, grow your emotional state, grow all of it, because you are literally, you can be a dark spot to people and they may not want to be around you all the time. And these are things that I'm sure people you've heard before in your life, which is why you're constantly fighting it. And you fight it by saying, but I'm telling the truth. However, you may not be telling the truth. You're telling what you feel is the truth. And you're also telling, what you're also doing is you are shooting people in their trauma spaces. That is what I need to say. You're shooting people in the spaces they're trying to heal from. And that's why when you say those things, it is such a shock to them. This all started because Keke was on her live and one of her children came up and said, "Mommy, can I have something to eat?" Keke said, "I fed you 2 hours ago or something. You just ate 2 hours ago. No, it's after 8 o'clock. You can't have anything more." Now she stopped. She addressed it. She explained why. That is normal mothering. That is normal mothering. But Wanda, her auntie, took it a step further. Maybe she recognized it. Maybe she didn't. But she is shooting Keke, in my opinion, I didn't speak to her, in my opinion, in a space that may be heavy or has some trauma around it, because Keke has already shared that wasn't her proudest moment when she was in her addiction phase. And there's things that she still hasn't talked about. This is what Keke said. There's things I still haven't shared with my husband. I still haven't told him because I'm ashamed. And I'm sure if those things are, if that's the case with her husband, it's the case with her children as well. So Wanda's saying, you're not a good mother because you didn't give that child something to eat, which, by the way, that's not what a bad mother is. It is absolutely a good mother who says, listen, you already ate. It's past 8 o'clock. You're about to go to bed. You're not going to have any more activity. So it's not like you can work this off. You go to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have breakfast, you'll do whatever, and we can get you to the next place. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But Wanda calling Keke a bad mama struck something in Keke. And Keke was hurt. She was upset by it. And in some of these interviews that she's done lately, she said that all of my kids love me. Every one of my kids tell me I'm a good mother. It hurt her to have Wanda say, her auntie say, that she wasn't because of that. And that is what I mean by that. But in Keke's interview yesterday, where she brought her daddy on, her dad said a couple of things that hurt Wanda in her trauma places. And I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But he said that, number one, Wanda has always been the person we see on TV. That person, it has always been with Wanda since they were children. And so whereas there has been a whole family of people who've just learned to accept it and say, you know, that's just who she is, it comes across as polarizing and divisive for those of us who are just watching it play out, whether it's on TV or on, you know, the internet, on her lives. It's polarizing to watch it. And saying that it's polarizing doesn't mean that we don't know what it looks like, because in order for it to be polarizing, we also, like I'm saying, you probably know someone like this. This is probably a family member of yours or a friend of yours, or someone that is a friend of yours knows someone like this and talks to you about it. It's not a personality that we've never seen. It's just, it's wild to see. It's wild to see no matter what. And it's wild to see because we know that Wanda is of a big age. She's lived probably half of her damn life already, 50-something years old. And the things that come out of her mouth, the things that she thinks and says against people that are strangers or family, is really crazy. It's repulsive at some points. Like, we're like, wow. So, and I mean that too. Like the thing she said yesterday about her brother, about her niece, trying to call out her brother, bringing other family members in on it to do it on a live. At one point, do you pull back and say, no, this was wrong, Keke, and I'm going to talk to you and my brother about it. If you really felt it was wrong, Keke, let's talk about this offline, and I'm going to need this to be corrected. However that happens. We saw Beyonce and, not Beyonce, Beyonce's sister, Solange, beat the hell out of Jay-Z on some film, right? In an elevator. And however they handled it was private. The next time we saw him, it was because Mama Tina said, we're all going to go to lunch together. We're going to have this, you know, someone film us walking down the streets of New Orleans, where Solange lived at the time, her and her husband, Beyonce and Jay-Z, and me. And we're going to walk down this street so that people know that was a family situation that family is handling. You don't have to know anything more about it. Period. Okay? The next time we heard about it was in a song. Shit goes down when you got $1 billion in the elevator, right? That type of things happen. We saw it happen last year with Melody and Martell. They got into it online, just, you know, writing posts back and forth, but it was heavy. And we saw that. And they're not the only ones. People on this show aren't the only ones. It happens a lot. But somebody got to know when to stop the BS. Somebody has to know when to stop it. So we have people that's not even on the show that has put themselves in the public limelight to talk about Keke and to talk about Wanda. But Keke's daddy said this is who Wanda always was. He said they took a trip last year where he went to Washington, D.C. to see the Martin Luther King monument. you can tell it was a proud moment for him. He also said that he got a chance to see Martin Luther King, I believe the third, his son, at the monument. They talked, and I guess he felt really happy about that. He said Wanda's the type of person who, and he literally said this, said to him, Wanda tells her brother, I'm more famous than Martin Luther King the third. So, you know, I guess she's trying to take the winds out of his sails for saying that he had an opportunity to meet Martin Luther King III. The daddy also said, I would never talk about Letitia, the way Wanda has talked about you. I love all of my daughters. I love all of my nieces and nephews. I would never do the things that Wanda has done against my child, to her child, or any one of my other siblings' children, excuse me. And then he also said, you guys, he said that there was a incident that happened when he was younger and Letitia was a baby, where Wanda called the police on him and said that he had thrown Tisha out the window. Now, this man was very sincere in how he communicated and told his story. But at the end of the day, that was his sister, that is his family. And he was setting the record straight and saying, I love my daughter. You and I talked about this last night, and we don't ever have to discuss it again. But that is just who Wanda is, and that he has grown to accept it. Okay, now I was going to talk about that last night, but something in me said, I want to hold on to this, and not because I was waiting for Wanda's rebuttal, but because I know that this is a sensitive subject for everybody involved, and I wanted to really think out what I wanted to say. So after hearing what she said, what Keke and her dad said, I sat on it for a minute and I started thinking about the show and how we've seen Wanda go from hot to cold with people. First season, you know, she's, hey, Mel, how you doing, Mel? All right, sweetheart. Hey, baby girl. Very, very warm and pleasant. And everybody wanted her to be, you know, the auntie. Like, oh, okay. Hey, Aunt Wanda, or Miss Wanda, whatever the hell people were calling her. And then we saw a completely different side of her, where she came after Melody's kids, saying she believed that Melody's kids would be jealous of her grandbaby's hair because her grandbabies have a good grade of hair, quote unquote, good grade of hair, whatever the hell that means. And when Melody attempted to address it with Tisha and saying, mamas are off limits, children are off limits, this is what your mother said about my child, Tisha didn't say, I'm sorry. Tisha said, I didn't hear it. And she left it at that. Then Tisha and Melody were, you know, at odds on the show. And then we get to see another scene where even though Tisha and Melody are at odds, and we saw Wanda in earlier episodes kind of flipping out like, I don't like Melody and that girl this and da-da-da-da. There's a scene where Melody goes to a graduation lunch or dinner for Jalen. And she's sitting there and literally I think she just went through her divorce. So things are still fresh. Things are still painful. Maybe she was going through a divorce. Either way, the process of it was still painful. It was something she was still going through. Anyway, when Martell gets to this dinner, Melody says, okay, y'all, thank you for, happy, graduation. I'm proud of you. Gets up, walks out. Wanda chases behind Melody to say, Melody, slowing her down in her steps. Again, forgetting what she said about her children, forgetting all the other things that she said, and said to her, I just want you to know that I'm here for you, or however she said, I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you, and Martell wasn't right. What he did to you wasn't right. And you strong, girl, you're going to get through this, trying to encourage her to the point of where Tisha had to come out and say, and she was chasing Melody. Wanda was chasing Melody to her car. But then Martell ends up coming out there. She gets into it with Martell about the kid's hair. Tisha comes out. Melody's trying to walk away. Wanda's still talking to Melody like, I'm trying to console you. I want you to know that I'm thinking about you, that you know, just encouraging her. And Tisha said, Ma, Melody got a mama. You're my mama. You don't have to encourage her. Let Melody's mom encourage her. Do you understand what I'm saying? How that can look really, I don't know, erratic, right? On TV. Like, if that's what we're seeing on TV, imagine what this family is going through in real life. That's erratic behavior. That's erratic thinking. Like, oh, I'm going to talk about you like a dirty dog on Monday, but on Tuesday, I'm going to kick you in the crotch with this pointy-toe shoe. She shoots bullets for offenses that seem super minor, but she shoots them all the same. It doesn't matter. And anybody can get it. Family, brothers, nieces, cousins, sisters, or complete strangers. Because at the end of the day, Melody and her mother have come out and said, I don't know her. Melody said, I've met her less than a handful of times, never sat and talked to her for real. Like, we're not friends. So when she's showing up on screen giving advice like, you shouldn't have divorced that man. Y'all should get back together. And then saying stuff like, why didn't you just stay sister wives? That's adding trauma to an injury that Melody is already suffering. That's adding trauma to an injury that Melody is already suffering. And she did that with Keke. She added trauma to an injury she's already suffering, an injury she's already trying to, you know, move past and progress from. She's saying, you're a bad mama. And Keke may have bad feelings around some things already. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy, right? Keke also had some things to say, saying that Wanda had lived in the projects, went from project to project to project. What else did she say? She said that she was with dope dealers and that she did dope herself, right? That's the accusations and things that she put on Wanda. She also said that Wanda had her child when she was 15, so she didn't take care of her child. It was her, you know, mother, the grandmother, that would have taken care of Tisha. Now, we all know that the grandmother was definitely a big part of Tisha's life because Tisha says it. My grandmother was a big part of my life. I'm sure that was the way for a lot of Black people. But one of the ways you can tell that Wanda's still in a trauma place herself is because she takes offense when someone says, your mother helped you raise your daughter when you were 15 years old, or however old she had that girl. There's nothing to be ashamed about in that. Why are you saying that you raised that girl yourself? You were a child raising a child. In what way? You can be 30 plus years old, 30, 40 years old, have a child for the first time, and I promise you, for the second, third, or fourth time, you're going to need help. And people who have babies know that. I'm going to need my village. I want my mama. I want my grandma. I want my sisters and aunties, whoever it is. I want y'all to help me with this damn baby, because whatever they told you, whatever you thought you knew about it, I promise you, you don't know. You don't know, period. So when a woman as grown as Wanda fight as hard as she does to say that she raised Tisha on her own, and now she has to have her brothers and sisters validate her in that, why are you validating her in that? There's nothing true about it. That is horrible. That is horrible to even want people to think. They have a whole show on MTV called Teenage Mom or some mess. And the reason why people watch it is because it literally is one of the hardest things to watch. It is a child trying to raise a child. It was a horrible thing to watch. I watched one episode and said, who is doing this? Stop feeding people this story. Unless it's a cautionary tale, don't do it, okay? But that was a problem, and it touched her trauma. She has trauma around that. So when people say it, she loses it. What else happened that she said? Oh, Apparently there's trauma about her living in the projects. Okay, she wants people to know, I only lived in the project one time, but for the last 20 or so, whatever many years, I've had my own house. I've lived in my house for 20 years. And before that, my ex-husband, I lived in that house for 8 years. So she doesn't like to be told that she was from the project. She understands that she is being shot at, but she doesn't understand how she shot at her first. You shot at her first. You shot at her, and you reminded her of a trauma that she's still trying to heal from. And she went back and did the same to you. Okay? She did the same to her. Now, people may believe it, people may not. She brought her brothers and a brother and a sister on. You could barely hear them. But I'll say this. When she was asked, what was the question? When she asked her brother or sister, whomever, if she had called the police on her brother, there was the longest pause I ever heard in a conversation. I think you would chime right in on that and say, no, I ain't never heard of it. I don't know if he didn't hear it or what, but that was the longest pause absolutely ever. And I think she had to ask it twice, okay? To the point of where she's like, are you guys not listening? I mean, it could be possible. Again, I wasn't there because I don't know. Sometimes shit like that happens and you might have forgotten you did it because your trauma brain needs to suppress certain things, okay? And Wanda, who constantly, prior to this, the live she did last night, she would constantly say, me and my brothers and sisters are so close. We are so close. We're all gonna, put up this lawsuit to take this one person or two people or three people, however many people, down because we are that close. And you never to talk about my mama. To have all of that play out, y'all, and to see her say, well, brother, I'm going to tell you, Keke's still on that stuff. Sorry, brother, but you gotta know, Keke's still on that stuff. Was that the right platform to say that mess, Wanda, to your brother, to a brother that you're supposed to love? Was that the right platform to say that mess? She also had her sister, a sister and a brother come on and say, hey, what did she say? I'm forgetting the doggone stuff because it was literally that crazy. What I was watching was that crazy. But at the end of it, it sounds like her brother and the sister who had been calling her on the previous live, telling her to stop saying those things. Stop saying that Keke is dead to you. This is not right. But it sounds like they were really trying to tell her, Wanda, let this be the end of this. Don't go live on this shit again. Don't do this again. You are literally tearing this family apart. You're not on the show anymore. You're not. She admitted that last night. I'm not on that show. Okay? Keke said, you're not on the show. But she wants to tear everything down because she can't stand to watch someone else's healing journey. And that's what I see. Okay? She said, y'all, she said, I went to the facility. I guess as she's saying, Keke's there. I went to that facility and asked them, how much does it cost to take a drug test? And she said it was $200 and something. And she was like, she's not doing that test every other day, I think she said. Now, Keke said she took it 3 times a month. Wanda added some stank on it and said every other day. Well, she didn't say that, first off. So you're twisting the truth to, fit whatever narrative you want it to fit. So again, you're shooting bullets where you don't have to shoot bullets, period. She says, what else did she say that was off the wall? After acting like everything that Keke and her father said was a lie, she literally pulled a Dave Chappelle and what's his name? Rick James. Y'all remember that show when Rick James was like, I never put my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch. Yeah, I put my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch. She did that literally on the show. She says, I ain't never been with no dope dealer. I ain't never did this. Now, did I used to date dope dealers? Yeah, I used to date dope dealers because of the money. And then she starts making this money dance. I was like, child, you literally proved them right in this 1 hour live or 56 minutes. In the 56 minutes you've been on, you had your brother and sister show up to try to discredit these, your brother and your niece. And in the last 5 minutes of this damn live, you proved everything they said right. It was wild to watch. It was wild to watch, but I don't know. I'm asking y'all. It just feels like, and I said this already, Wanda is stalled. Her growth is stalled. We see it all the time. They played it out on the reunion. There's people who encourage her, keep her in those spaces. They use her. They weaponize her when they need to. And I'm going to say that's Maurice. I'm going to say that is Marceau and Tisha, because we saw it on the reunion stage when she was point blank dead ass wrong when she was talking about Sugar Mama. I remember Carlos saying, well, wait a minute. When people were talking about Monster, all of you were quick to say, how dare Tiffany, but you're encouraging Wanda to say these things against Melody and Martell's children. And there's a difference. There's a difference. Took Kimmy to say, there's no difference, and you are a damn lie, and why would y'all encourage this? And I told Wanda myself she was wrong, and you all should be ashamed of yourselves. It's wrong. And Kimmy also said, again, a definite example of shooting people, whatever their trauma spots. A lot of you have been asking, where is Jalen? Why isn't he on the show? But if y'all remember, Kimmy did an interview, I believe, where she said she had to go after Wanda because Wanda came out of pocket on Jalen. And she said it pissed her off. She was like, she doesn't know boundaries. She doesn't know when to shut up. She doesn't know her place. And because Wanda doesn't understand that she has to grow and move past things, she used saying whatever she wants, whenever she wants, to whomever she wants as her thing. This is her gift. This is how she gets fame, notoriety, and she doesn't give a damn who is offended by it, period. That's just who she is. But anyways, guys, I wanted to know what y'all thought about that. I'm going to end it here. Y'all can go over to Prosperity Thick Girl's page if you want. You can go over to Wanda's page if you want to check out the rest. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, okay? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell. And also, if y'all recognize or remember any other moments, share that in the comments too, because I literally had to sit on this and think, yeah, this isn't how Wanda started out, but she quickly became something else. And it doesn't take a whole lot to put a battery in her back, Marceau, a battery in her back, Tisha, where she will really blow up on people. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, okay? And I will check you all on the next one.